Welcome back to the Soul Trap, honey. I love you. I appreciate you, babies. Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from in the world. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, especially my foreigners, because y'all be tapping into me, honey. I love being seen and loved and appreciated all over the world. Y'all are my number ones, okay? Anyway, let's get to this video. Happy Tuesday to you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
I didn't know that they were doing black paranormal stories on here. Yeah, it's that time again, y'all. I got another creepy story for y'all. I got a gang of them, but I don't want,
You got some good ones.
Paste that shit. In case you don't know, my name Vaughn. I'm a Virgo, and occasionally I tell you shit that will scare the shit out of you.
Gemini season,
these stories be true. If it's not true, I'll tell you if it's not true. This story is true. So, hold on. So I used to be over the road, an over-road trucker. And because of that, I was seeing a lot of different places, and I used to always take Ubers and shit. And I would get the most interesting stories riding in the Ubers. So one time, I was with this one cat that, he was my Uber driver, but he was also like real nice with computers. And after a little conversation, he got to, talking about he used to do some ethical hacking and things of that nature. And so I asked him we started talking about the deep web. That's a rabbit hole right there. Like, you can pause this, go look up like the deep web and then come back. But I was asking him, I was like, well, yo, okay. And so I was like, yo, what's some of the worst, most disturbing things you've seen on the deep web? And he told me two stories that like gave me chills. The first one, and they both short, they're not long. The first one was he had found a cookbook.
A cookbook.
And it had a whole bunch of different recipes and shit, right? But it was for cooking people. It was like a cooking people cookbook, like how to prepare people.
What?
And it was like in detail. Like he was like, it's giving me a chill.
Me too.
To think about it, because like y'all had to be there with, because sometimes you could tell when somebody bullshit, when somebody telling the truth. But I got the vibe he was telling the truth, because the way he was looking. But then he was like, what was even scarier than that is one time he was on a deep web and he ended up in like some kind of room. I gotta be careful how I word this. So the room, he's just looking, and he didn't think, like he's looking like he's peeking in. Mm-hmm. And he said, in this room, it's like a chat room. He said the only thing in there is it's a screen, and it's a person tied up in a chair, right? And then he was like, there was bids, like on the text, you could see people bidding to do certain things.
That's what them rich people do
in the chair. Like,
they don't got nothing else to do with their money.
I can't even say, but use your imagination, right? And so
movies are real.
But the thing about that was, while he's looking at this, he can't interact with it, because he just found a way to he ended up there on accident. So he's just looking at this like, what the fuck? Like, and then he said while he's looking, a text box pops up on his screen, and text comes across the screen saying, here. Who are you? And like, he was like, when that happened, he like unhooked the computer, he threw it across the room. He was like, and like he cut off all the lights and shit. Cause he was on I think he was on the Tor network. Something like, he was explaining it to me. It's like, you're not supposed to be traced. But he was like, the thing with that is, cause like I said, he was on some hacking shit. So the way he was explaining it to me was, the way he was in that room, nobody should have been able to know that he was there. So the fact that somebody was able to open up like a text screen and type, who are you? It was like, not only did they know he was there, but he was address. Like, quite possibly they could have traced where he was at. That's why he immediately unplugged his computer. Like he destroyed the computer immediately. And he was just like sitting there shook. You know what I'm saying? He was shook. He didn't know what to do, because he was like, if they were able to, because I was like, I would have left. And he was like, well, the thing about that is, he was like, if they were able to trace my location where I was at, ain't really too much I can do. That's what he was saying. Like, shit, I'm pretty much stuck. But yeah, but those two stories, like when he told me that, it kind of like made the hairs on the back of my neck like stand up. And that, because I was kind of curious about getting on the deep well. And I was saying that after he told me them stories, and then he was like, you really have to be careful too, because it's like, if you don't know what you're doing, one, you can get traced probably, and two, you might end up accidentally going somewhere where you ain't supposed to be. Anyway, I think I explained that right. But have y'all ever been on the deep web? If you have, keep it PG-13.
Okay.
If you're going to comment. And as always, peace.
Find a pretty previous video of me talking about the deep web, because I ain't repeating that again, okay? Because But I've been there by accident in the past. Movies are real. There's several movies of rich people bidding on crazy things to do to people who they have captured, and they have them tied up. They just do the most outrageous things to these kids, women, men, whoever. So don't get caught up, okay? And trafficking is real. And that's part of where they do with you when they traffic you, besides using your genitals.
I seen people on TikTok discuss about haunted houses, like in the hood or in black household. The first spirit I think I actually seen, I was probably like in the 5th or 6th grade. And one thing I always see spirits when I first wake up from a dream, which is weird. Do anybody else experience that? So when I first seen this first spirit, it was a black man and he was in a suit and he looked really nice. So when I'm opening my eyes, he was just walking in my room. He smiled at me and waved, and I waved back and I smiled, and it's like he just disappeared. It was one house that creeped me out so bad that we lived in. I used to get chills going to sleep. I used to be shaking, scared in bed, because whatever energy I was feeling used to freak me out. And what make it worse is my mom thought I was just so freaking delusional and I was so crazy. And she used to be like, oh, ain't no such thing as ghosts, da-da-da. Mom, I see shit, I feel shit. You cannot tell me this is not true. And it was another house I lived in. It was like 2021. It was just me and my son. It was my mom's old house, and she let me move in there after she moved out. So I was asleep one day, and I feel like I had an outer body experience because I seen myself sleep. And I seen a man walk up, and he was staring down and watching me sleep. And it freaked me out. I woke up. Mind you, I'm the only person in this house. So I was like very shook by that. Another time, which is crazy, this happened 2 years ago, but I still remember it very vividly. I woke up and it was a girl. She was like in a tank top and like shorts, and her back was facing me. And it's like once I woke up, she got up and she walked away and vanished. But when she got up, I just said thank you, as if she was protecting me.
Right, that's exactly what I got from that.
Can I explain that? I remember one time I woke up in my house and I seen a big black figure in my doorway. Like, it was huge, like covering my whole doorway. And when I woke up, it scared the shit out of me because it was pitch dark in my house, but I still seen this big black figure in my house. Mind you, this house always gave me an eerie feeling, especially in that basement. It felt like I was constantly being watched. It was to the point I would rather go to the laundromat than watch clothes in my basement. And like my energy was so off when I was in that house. It seemed like I was going crazy. I was irritated all the time. I was just so freaking angry being in that house. Mind you, this happened 2 years ago and I was on my own. So this is not like a house I live in with my parents or my family. It was literally just me and my child. And I never really could tell if I was in a haunted house. But one thing I can always say, I picked up on energy so freaking well. Like, if a house felt eerie or uneasy, I would sleep terrible every freaking night. And then, like, explain it to people.
Cleanse the energy.
I don't feel like they really understand, because don't nobody else around me really experience this but me. So I'm like, am I crazy, or do I know? Like, I'm very tapped in with the spiritual world, and I'm very in tune with that.
Yes, ma'am. You just got to learn how to protect yourself, protect your energy, and protect the environment that you're in. Make sure you don't get any attachments and things of that nature. But you're not crazy.
They're going to get to the point here pretty soon where they're going to start asking you to snitch on your neighbors.
Ooh.
Yeah, because where are the Proud Boys? Where are the Oath Keepers?
What are we talking about, beautiful?
Those are the Frozen Boys. They're going to start asking you to start
The
snitching
Frozen
on your
Boys?
neighbors.
Who is that?
Because this is a massive operation. If they have to go door to door to every house in America, no, they're not going to do that.
I
right?
see.
They're going to start
That's what she talking about.
figuring out what neighborhoods that they want to hit
called
or
them the
whatever.
Frozen
But they
Boys.
are going to get to a point where they're going to need some help, and they're going to ask you to snitch on your neighbors. If ever there was a time where you would
suck a
look back
big
at
fat
Nazi
one.
Germany and you were like, oh, I would hide people, I would never. We're about to find out in real time, honestly. Now, all that to say, understand who you have around you. Understand who you have around you. Understand that there's going to be some conversations that you can't have with some people anymore because you don't know if they finna be a snitch. You don't know what kind of questions they're going to start asking people. One thing about it, self-preservation is going to kick in hard for a lot of people. Typically the people that didn't think that any of this was going on, they thought everything was fine, and then once it shows up on their doorstep, hey, we want to ask you some questions.
You don't gotta answer your door. You ain't gotta answer no question.
They're gonna fold like a lawn chair. Understand who's in your circle. Understand who you can have certain conversations with. Understand that they want you to start snitching. You have to figure out where you at with it. Now, those groups that have just become the Froyo boys, they're doing this purely out of the hate and fear out of their hearts, right? They figure the thing that they have to lose is their nation. They don't want it to look about anything except for this right here. If you fall outside of that, if you like anybody that falls outside of that, now, we as a population have a lot to lose. A lot to lose. A lot to lose. So, consider all these things. We're at the end of the poem now. This is what happened. And I'm going to tell you what. This truly started in 2016. So, if you've had your head down for 10 whole years and now you're popping up and like, oh, what happened? How did we get here? This is what being uninformed does. And now you're about to become an informant because you weren't paying attention. Understand who's around you. Understand that there's some people that are willing to snitch on you to save their own skin. And these are people
what are
that
they
you thought were
snitching on?
friends.
I am so confused.
Maybe
Bruh.
even some family members. Keep it a buck with you. Understand who's around you.
Okay, girl. If y'all comprehend what she is putting down, let me know in the comments, because I'm a bit confused. Is she talking about ICE agents? Immigrants? Like, is that what she's talking about without trying to say it? Girl, just say what you mean and mean what you say. Okay.
Okay, guys, another creepy story. Okay, this story takes place here in Montgomery, Alabama, and this was when I used to stay in an apartment complex. Okay, so me and my kids, and so I had just got a divorce and just moved into my own place, and so me and my kids, we was doing our own thing, and so I noticed one morning, every time I wake up, everything in the kitchen would be turned upside down. Salt and pepper shaker, all the canned goods, all the boxes of cereal. Everything in the kitchen cabinets was turned upside down. So I was all the food, and I was telling my kids, hey, y'all need to stop flipping everything upside down. They was like, we're not doing it. My kids, they was all elementary age at the time. And I was like, well, who doing it? They was like, we're not doing it. I said, well, there's nobody in the house but you, me and y'all, so y'all got to be doing it. So I made them come in the kitchen with me, and we flipped everything back up right. So the next morning, I woke up again, and my salt and pepper shaker, they was like this funny diamond shape at the top, so you really couldn't stand it up, but somebody had poured a bunch of salt and pepper and propped it up like it was so crazy on the side. It was so crazy. It was flipped upside down. So I was fussing my kids like, how the hell y'all did this? And they was like, Mama, we didn't do it. So now I'm fussing. Go back in the kitchen. Everything's still turned upside down. So I was like, y'all better stop. So I said, I'm going to whoop y'all next time. I'm just my last warning. Don't do it again. They're like, Mama, we ain't do it. So they hollered, Mama, we ain't do it. I said, well, who else did it? So I was telling my twin sister about it. I called my twin. I was like, girl, something. I said, my kids getting on a nerve. And my sister said, girl, something strange going on in my house as well. Because she was still in Mobile. And I was like, what? She was like, girl. She said, I'm going to call you back tonight. Answer the phone. I was like, okay. She said, it's going to be late. I was like, okay. So she called me probably around 11:30, and you can hear this man snoring so loud. So I'm thinking it was her husband. I was like, girl, tell him to stop. Damn, he's so loud. Roll him over. She said, it's not him. I said, well, who in the hell is it? Because I knew it wasn't her son, because he was a child. He was like elementary child. He was like my kid's age, and her daughter was younger. And I said, well, who in the hell in your house? She said, nobody's in my house. And you can hear this man snoring so loud. And I said, oh, hell no. I said, somebody in the attic or something? And she said, I don't think so, because, she was a housewife at the time. She said, no. She said, it always happens around this time. I said, you might need to call the police and have the police look. So she did. Police did a thorough search because they heard her snoring too. Couldn't explain it. They heard and left. And so I was like, oh, hell no. So I was telling my sister, I said, girl, something strange. You just, every day I wake up and just stuff flip over in my kitchen. And my sister said, you might got something in your house like I do. I said, shit, I hope not. So I woke up the third night I woke up. So after me and my sister got off the phone, I had woke up and I went to go wake my kids up. Okay, so this is about the end, so I'm doing part 2.
Oh, shit. I think we heard that story already before, but still just as creepy the second time. Okay.
After dark, for those of you that don't know what happened after dark, after Katrina, you cannot be caught outside. If you were caught outside after Katrina, outside after dark, it didn't matter what color you was or who you was.
Okay.
You were captured if you were seen.
By who?
You were captured. You were then probably tortured, or what they said, toyed with, unalived, and disposed of.
I ain't never heard that before.
After Katrina, they sent thousands of people all over the United States. I was currently in Denver, Colorado. I met a man. He told me all kind of stories about Katrina.
Girl, not you repeating stories.
And he confessed it to being the word purge. He used the word purge. This, as we know it, would be the first purge of this century. This man and his crew, amongst other crews, by the way, if you were caught after dark, they captured you, did what they did to you, and disposed of you. They were in pickup trucks. They were in vans.
I think I did hear this.
The reason why this man confessed it is because he said he stopped purging because him and his crew came across a female and her 9-year-old son. They captured them, took them to their place of business, tortured them, and disposed of them. So my first question to him was, is there a way you can make an anonymous call to authorities so they can get a proper burial? He goes, no. You don't understand. When you dispose of someone here in Louisiana, there's nothing left. And those of you that are from Louisiana know exactly what I mean. I can't say here on TikTok. He also claimed that there were law enforcement also involved in these crews, in these purges. What bothers me today, and you're asking, why are you speaking up now? It's been like 20-something years. I've held this in for that long. I haven't spoke of it till right now. What bothers me today is the fact that some of these people, or most of them, are still alive, living their life. So if you had a family member that went missing when they went back home to salvage whatever they could salvage from their homes or whatever, and they never came back, or they're just missing, well, now you know why. And like, you never found their body, you never heard from them again, now you know why.
Girl, you ain't giving no information.
And I'm sure most of you that live in Louisiana already know these. But anyways, they call, the poor folks there, they call themselves Cajun folks. They say, this is a poor man's party, and it's a rich man's game, is what he claims they call it. They get to live their lives free, as if nothing ever happens, and they continue, especially the ones that are very addicted to it. When there's several of them that are addicted to it, and they continue to, participate in those activities. That's what bothers me today.
We could have did without that story, but okay. Kind of heard that before, though. I think I watched something on YouTube that's kind of centered around that, or maybe it was the Netflix Katrina. I was like a quick little series. I think they kind of mentioned that on there, but she talking about, I held this in for 20-something years. Girl, back. Thought she was going to say a story about her being in Katrina. Anyway, thank you for this story.
So a girl got on here and asked, where are the ghosts from like 2000 to like today, right? Basically saying like, why the only time there's tours is tours given to like old ass ghosts. And my theory is this, right? 2000
Energy lives on forever.
To 2025 fashion trends are always repeating themselves. So if you see a ghost and they're gonna be dressed in the time period that they died, it's hard to peep a ghost from the 21st century because our fashion hasn't evolved enough to like really peep. Think about it. We bring back recession fashion every 6 months. We bring back Y2K every year. 90s every damn day. It's not like it's going to be easy to peep somebody in Tim's Jabot jeans and a crop top compared to a Victorian 27-piece suit looking like stacked and smoked.
Okay.
I think we just walk around ghosts all the time from that era. They just hard to peep. Like I told y'all, my neighbor died and had been dead in his condo next to mine for some days. But I swear I saw him the day before somebody found his body. And he was trying to get into his apartment. I didn't know he was a ghost.
Yeah. Facts.
Fuck the saxophones. Do you know what I would do if the first night I spent into a place I just moved
What,
into
bitch?
and I just hear this shit? Nice.
I'm confused. What did you hear? The beat?
Okay, so y'all like timeline theories, stories. You guessed it. I have a timeline story. I actually posted this on TikTok, but for some reason when people don't understand something, they say demonic is demons. I'm safe and protected, so I really don't give a dang what y'all say in the comments, but it's kind of like, whatever. I feel like there's infinite timelines, and at some point they're going to glitch and fuck up. Tell me what it is, timeline glitch, angel story, I'm hallucinating. I had a pair of earbuds. I'm gonna say earbuds, iPods. Y'all already know I barely could talk. I fell asleep on the couch and I woke up and it was about 1:27 a.m. I get up, go upstairs to get ready for bed. One thing about me, I cannot sleep without my retainer. So I went, brushed my teeth, and I had put in my retainer. At this point, you really can't be kind of out of it. You kind of have to be a little bit more lucid. Is that to take my earbuds out and I put them in the case on the right nightstand. I wake up in the morning and I look over and the earpods wasn't there. I'm like, all right. So I look around, I look up under that nightstand, still wasn't there. Maybe I had them on, put them in the bed, look all around the bed, pull up the bedding, look under the bed, not there. Maybe I left in the bathroom, went in the bathroom, checked around in the bathroom, wasn't there. Went downstairs and I looked on that couch. I tore that couch up, pillows up. I even lifted up the couch, does nothing. Those AirPods was nowhere. That couch was tore up. At this point, I'm really mad. If you know me, you know I hate losing things. I'm gonna make myself some coffee and I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna go on Amazon and I'm gonna order a pair of cheapies. Pissed. Make my coffee out of the kitchen. I open up my phone because I'm about to go sit down and get on Amazon. I cannot live without my earbuds. I look over on the couch as I'm walking towards the couch, and there's one of the pillows just standing there, and there's and there's the earbuds right there in the case, just sitting there as if someone placed it there. My kids wasn't home. Nobody was there with me. I ain't got no animals, nothing. Couch still toe up. Pillow right there. Earbuds there. You cannot tell me that the way that couch was toe up, there's no way that pillow would have made it stand right there with them earbuds.
That was your other self.
It's no way. And they weren't not there. They were not there. I'm getting chills thinking about it now.
Another version of you there. Put him there.
This is where I stopped on TikTok. More weird shit happened. Now I don't get spooked out by the paranormal. I told y'all it's a lie. I could start a whole series here. Those ended up going dead with the charger. I ended up buying more. Pink ones, gold ones, white ones with a hole. Ended up throwing those earpods away. The earbuds away. It was no way to save them. So one day I go in my locked snack box. Yes, I have a snack box. I have teenagers and my honey buns wouldn't stand a chance downstairs. I open it up. It's those earbuds that I threw away. Not flick it open, they both in there.
Girl.
By this time, I have a pink champagne pair. At this point in time, I'm spooked out.
Okay.
Nope. 100% spooked out. I need to forget about it. I need to walk away. I close it. I wish I could tell you to stop there. It didn't. I'm in the back seat of my car. I'm looking for something. I'm actually looking for a coupon. I remember I'm bent down by the mats. I'm looking up under the seats. I hear something trickle down.
Girl.
Bitch, my heart. It's an earbud. Don't nobody come in my car with no earbuds. Creepy. One person who have sat in my driver's or who has drove my car and who has said he old, he so he like the string ones. My daughter got AirPod Pros. She got the Pros. Where the fuck? You're fucking with me. I sold that car with that earbud in it. I don't know what I don't like that. It is. If there's me in another timeline looking for those earbuds, baby, it's gonna stay. So whoever got that car now, that's your problem now.
That's hilarious. I love that story. Let me know if you have experienced any glitches like that where you know for a fact you put something somewhere or lost something or found it or whatever, and then a different version of you is like, psych, here it is. But you reached the end of another video. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are my soul tribe, honey. Tribe is with a Y because the Y is for you. And that's because I love you so freaking much. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And share because sharing is caring and it's free. And I appreciate every time you do it for me. Make sure y'all hit me on the link tree to contact me. Check out clearleveltrading.com to get into Forex and learn a skill that can change your life for the rest of your life and get you as much money as you want to print. Literally. Sounds ridiculous, but it's not. That's it. I love y'all.